Hey guys, SkinnoDVT here, and unfortunately in my last replay of this series I got everything wrong. This is the finals of the StarCast 1 first StarCast Open tournament between Zess and Scream. This is the second of 5 games on Xel'Naga Caverns between a Zerg and a Protoss. Zess being a very skilled Protoss and Scream being a very skilled Zerg, as we know because they did get to the finals in quite a competitive scene. The second StarCast Open is currently still underway, and I very much look forward to doing any replays from that I can. Now, both players did do fairly standard builds last game, and it went rather extensive. This game, as we can see, is slightly shorter. I would like to hide it, but I don't know how, and we can see Zess going for a 9 Pylon and Scream going for a 9 Overlord. Now, both players did play fairly standard. There was no rush tactics, but I would expect this game to come down to a 7-minute rush, which will cripple one player who will then either GG or get beaten. So we'll see what happens. Scream did try to early expand last game. I'm not the biggest fan of early expos on this map, but one of my biggest problems on this map is towards the later game I tend to get locked down because I don't like expanding, because I feel insecure in this area because of this, and this. I don't expand and then I kind of just get stuffed. Now we can see Zess hiding a probe in the back of his opponent's base, but Scream did catch it with that Overlord and is able to scout the probe. That probe may have had Mischievous Intent, but I'm not sure. Interestingly enough, I cannot actually hear anything, so there we go, much better. I can now hear stuff. I just have my sound muted, as I will now start turning it down because it's probably overpowering my voice. Now, we do see 2 gateways being made by Zess. 2 gateways being made by Zess, which would indicate an early rush. Generally, you put a gateway, cybernetics called gateway assimilator down, but 2 gateways would indicate an early rush and would deal quite a lot of damage versus a Zerg who is doing similar to the Day 9 build, creating a small choke here, and if he was to put a Roach Warren here, then that would be the Day 9 ZVZ build. But we do see an early Zealot coming out. 2 Lings and a Queen should be able to hold off against most early attack forces. We do see the Roach Warren going down ASAP. Roaches are incredibly powerful early game, not overpowered, just very good defensively. I managed to hold off a 2-player attack in a 2v2 today purely with Roaches, so they are quite a powerful unit. They have lots of HP, lots of armor, and they deal a lot of damage, and especially versus Marines and Zealots, they just rip them to bits, which was the particular push I defended this morning. Now, we do see 2 Zealots coming out, so 3 Zealots going to be out shortly, probably 2 more shortly after that. With that, he could easily push out and see if he could do any damage, and all he'd have to contend with is a Queen, and in theory, possibly a couple of Roaches very soon. Zealots vs Roach is interesting. I'm pretty sure this is after the Roach buff. I can't exactly remember, but the Roach buff made it fairly easy to kite Roaches. We do see 5 Roaches on the production, no, 6 Roaches on production at the moment. So maybe it's Scream who will be pushing out and winning this match with a 6 Roach early push. 6 Roaches early is quite frightening versus 3 Zealots, which is all which is out on the field at the moment. But 3 Zealots and 2 Stalkers should be able to deal with it very quickly. We do see some some Zergling support coming out, and we do see the 6 Roaches pushing out across the map, so I'll be interested to see what happens during this confrontation. There are 2 Stalkers and 3 Zealots, so this could make life very difficult for the Roach push. However, Roaches are fairly beefy, 145 health, but Stalkers deal 14 damage against them, but Roaches do have that early first armor, which Zealots do also, so it could be interesting. We do see interesting micro happening, just keeping the injured Zealots out, injured Roaches out of the fight, and that's very important at this stage of the game, and could change the way a fight's going to go if one of your Roaches survived that hadn't before. that Stalker was mysteriously not attacking, which isn't the best thing. We do see one Stalker stands in the way, no, two Stalkers. Two Stalkers do stand in the way, and I would be cancelling this at this point, transforming it into a gateway and then walking it in. Two Stalkers, one Stalker now, and another one shortly, and a third one shortly after that. Again, I would have transformed that into a gateway, but quite a successful push by Scream. He didn't actually do any economic damage, but units lost wise, we can see that the Zess is still far behind, and this amount of Lings is going to make the life incredibly difficult, and he just got the perfect surround on two Stalkers with Lings. He's going to lose a couple, but otherwise he should be alright. Zealot's trying to come in to stem the flow of Zerglings, but it's not going to go very well. Workers being pulled off the mineral line, but a bit late, and the Stalker is going to get decimated. A very, very good surround by the Workers, and they are able to pick off some of the Zerglings, but suffering heavy losses. This Immortal is just going to get ripped to shreds. However, an Immortal and two Zealots may be able to dispel this attack, but with these two Warp Gates, I would suggest that this is pretty much GG for Zess with the incoming Lings and 6 more Lings on the production overlay. So I think this is GG for Zess in a minute or so, but it was very good early pressure. He managed to take out that pylon, deal quite an amount of damage, so he has effectively stopped all unit production for the next couple of minutes, and he did manage to take out quite a few workers. We can see a 14 to 20 15 to 20 worker difference, which is quite a lot, and they did just manage to do a perfect run by getting the very, very good surround on both units, and they are about to get a perfect surround on the Immortal. So I suspect that this is going to be called GG right here. Yep, there we go. So the shortest game in the series so far, but there's only been 2 games, so we'll see what happens. This is KinoDVT, and I'll see you on the next replay.